brings us into the weekend. And it's a cool morning, even though some people will pay anything to have the rains, fall upon us this morning. But it's not rainy, it's not too wet a morning, but then it is a cool morning. And we would always appreciate you for joining us and also bringing us, putting us in your daily morning routine.
Right. Talking about routine, talking about what's going on in the nation, because that's what we do here, having different angles about these issues. So let me ask you, Evelyn, at your own end of the country, what's going on?
Well,
and I'm intentionally asking you that. You know
I'll
why?
go back home, I'll go back home. What's happening in Edo State
you got
is
the memo.
Definitely making rounds across the country. The focus is on Edo State. At this time, we all know that they are going to be having their gubernatorial election later this year, September to be precise.
Right.
And yesterday we had two major political parties, the ruling party in the state and the opposition party in the state. Talk about the PDP and the APC have their gubernatorial primaries. And for that of PDP, we had Aswe Igodalo emerge as the gubernatorial candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State. Of course, it didn't go without some, some hitches, because there was also a parallel primary conducted in Edo State where the deputy governor, Philip Shuaibu, also was declared winner. So it seems like we have also two winners in the People's Democratic Party.
Right.
And of course, the APC also had their primary, and the LP will have theirs today. So lots of activities going on right there, the heartbeat of Nigeria.
Right. And, I think that of the APC, they have no bearing at the moment, because we learned Basio, the Cross-River State Governor, who is now saddled with responsibility of organizing another one, has just stated that, yes, there will be another one. He didn't hold yesterday. But then that primary has not come without its troubles, drama that you talked about. And we learned the former chairman of the gubernatorial primary, that's Opuzadima, was sacked, was removed, was, whatever, his superintendent didn't work.
Well, according to the APC, they actually made a press conference yesterday.
Yeah, that was what I was going to come to.
He wasn't sacked or removed.
And I saw Felix Morka try to gaslight people. When I was seeing
he was unavoidably unavailable.
Unavailable.
For that particular primary.
The way we coin words around here, unavoidably available.
He's a governor. He's got so many duties and responsibilities.
He has just superintendent on nonsense. That's just what it is. As far as that party is concerned, they had a chairman, they had a returning officer, somebody somewhere, they superintended and announced another one. So when Felix Morka, as publicity secretary of the APC, said the governor who did that was unavoidably absent, that's why they had to put Basio, who is avoidably present. You can't even say
conveniently present.
Conveniently present.
That's the word.
These are the issues. And we are learning that former governor of Ekiti State, Kayode FEMI, has, hit in a kind of way verbally now, Adams Oshiomhole. It was part of the people that spoiled it, and that he tried, to impose on the APC. And then you then wonder, Kayode FEMI is not a small fry in the APC. And he pointed accusing fingers at Adams Oshiomhole to say, you are the one, people like you are the one that are trying to impose. And to hear that such allegations being leveled against Oshiomhole, somebody who was a proponent of no more godfatherism, politicians are very interesting people. When it's their turn, they tell you so many things. When they've left the stage, they still want to have their hands in the way things are being done.
That's still allegation against Oshiomhole, because Oshiomhole also,
if he's not comfortable with what I'm saying, he should sue out the FEMI. That's not FEMI Ojo. And by the way, Igodalo is now the candidate as it stands, as it stands of the PDP in Edo State was quite, you know, something that looks organized. It looked so. But then hearing, you know, when Ighodalo was being asked last night, if actually knew a parallel primary was going on, he said, no, I was just concentrating on my job. But then we keep asking, what is happening? These are the issues.
Yes, and this is the time where we go for this break. When we return, it will be time to check what we have on all newspapers. Not all, some selected newspapers on the review. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. It is the newspaper review right here on Morning Spring. And we will not start without introducing our comrade here. Comrade Oladeji, I love you. Welcome on board. I'm loving this, you know, black attire.
Yeah, thank you very much. You're looking good,
Thank
also
you.
this morning. And good morning to you, Femi.
Thank
it's a
you.
pleasure to be on the show again this morning.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just get to it. Let's see what we have this morning on newspapers.
But before we go there, I dare ask Ladeji, it's like O1B has asked it today now, right?
It's just, well, I think there is one actually, but you know, it's just a normal
Because
Friday.
I need some little bets are telling me that you are taking one of your younger brothers to go and ask for the hand of a woman in marriage, right?
Well, I don't know about the birds that is telling you, but irrespective of whatever happens today, Friday should be Friday. You know, I'm not like you guys that must always dress corporate. You know, it's a free word for us here.
EVELYN, let's go.
Love our corporate dressing.
Yeah.
All right, let's move. Start with the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Let's check out stories making headlines on the front page of Vanguard. How Nigeria can overcome insecurity. Retired generals, DRGs, security experts say, and they are saying that there is a need for teamwork among government, security agencies, and the citizens. Blame corruption for worsening insecurity. Call for state police, investment in intelligence gathering. Train, equip, pay officers, other security agents well. Track down political leaders backing criminals. You know, all those solutions there from retired generals, DRGs, and security experts. Away from that, Ighodalo wins. PDP governorship candidate Dr. Aswe Ighodalo there. You can see his picture accompanied with his wife, Ifeyinwa, delivering his victory speech after the PDP primary election at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium in Benin City yesterday.
Right.
Away from that, CDS warns against calls for coup over economic hardship. FG bans cooking gas exports to crush price. Promoter Leno Adesanya writes Tinubu over Mambila Power Project. And the top strip, Vanguard newspaper this morning, hardship. We are working to tackle economic challenges. CBN begs Nigerians, and that, if you want to check out the appeal, it's on page 7 of the Vanguard. Insecurity, Catholic bishops, OK State Police. Edo Guba, Ighodalo wins PDP ticket with 577 votes. Abure released after 12 hours in police custody. And, you know, just for the laughs, Mr. and Mrs., in many situations, women are always holding the short end of the stick. And we hear Mr. say they better hold on tight. If the economy continues this way, the stick may become shorter. All right, let's just bring in Ladeji at this time. You must have seen what's happening in Edo State, the old drama, the old activities and events in that particular state. I'd like to know your impression of the primaries conducted by the APC and that of the PDP, and also the drama going on in LP. You must have seen that video of the chairman of the Labour Party when he was arrested with some 2 other people. He was made to sit on the floor, and a lot of people have actually spoken to that is inhumane. Your thoughts? Well,
simply put, the activities going on in Edo State, I'm not impressed at all. It shows we are not growing politically, you know, every now and then. The sense I'm making out of this is that for the 2 parties that have conducted their primaries, it shows even after the elections, we are still going to have court cases. If I saw the video yesterday when the current deputy governor, Shuaibu, had his own parallel primaries, and later on the one that the PDP had. And the question I was asking myself, Shuaibu is a big man in politics. He should understand that even if he goes back to the court will only recognize the primaries where INEC representative, the police, and the representative from the national headquarters of the party is present. So why is he doing this to himself? Why do you, I know you want to make a statement, but these dramas are very, very unnecessary.
Saying that his delegates were not allowed into the venue of the primary, do you think that...
It shows our political system is still not growing. Everybody should have, like they do say in democracy, majority will have their way, the minority will only have a say. Okay, this is what we want. You guys do not have the number to make it up. Even if your delegates, even if there are delegates that align their thoughts with that of Shuaibu, you should allow them in. Let everybody cast their votes. If it is just 2 or 3, 4 votes that the eventual winner gets to win, you know it's a free and credible election. But when you do not allow people, I'm talking about the party PDP now, when you do not allow people to, come out and show what they want to do, then things like this would happen. And to the APC, well, they look, because they had a primary that produced a winner in the morning, another in the afternoon, and another in the night. Just like the price of commodities in Nigeria now. You have a price in the morning, another price in the afternoon, another in the evening. It's a shame because we are not growing. If we have not been there, we've been reading about countries in Africa that are leading democratically now. If we call us, that's why I don't love to call us the giant of Africa. We are no longer there. A lot of countries are doing what we are meant to do. We are meant to be leading while they learn from us. But in this case now, we have to go study and see the way these guys are doing. And I'm speaking to the way the Labour Party national chairman was arrested. What I said to the person that watched the video together is that the Nigerian police will never learn. Even if he is a common criminal, there is the way you dignify humanity in that. A national chairman of a political party, what I will ask them, then can they arrest Ganduje of APC? Can they arrest the current national chairman of the PDP like that? No. No human deserves to be, treated that way. Yes, anybody can be arrested. You are doing your job as a police, but you don't dehumanize them in the name of you arresting them. It is not so good, and we need to really have a rethink and, move forward.
Thank you very much, Lajadi Submission there. So let's move on. FEMI?
Yes, next stop is The Guardian. The Guardian newspaper. 15 years of insurgency. Tales of war for survivors. Joy for repentant terrorists. Quite ironic. Tales of war for survivors and joy for repentant terrorists. You can see the picture there. How the figures, the statistics. Let me run through it. Total number of IDPs, 3.6 million. Out of 2.6 million IDPs in the Northeast, 452,219 are households. 2.19 million are individuals. Women, 24%, men, 19%, girls, 31%, and boys, 26%. And another 594 were recently set free by the Nigerian Army under Operation Safe Corridor. This brings the total to 4,072. That is talking about repentant terrorists. By the way, you can see the picture. They being all maxed up, carrying grenades in their hands, and they have been released in batches, calling them repentant. Little wonder, the Guardian refers to them as having joy. They are joyful, even while the people they have wreaked havoc on, having tales of war to say. Number of people killed by terrorists, about 35,000 human beings, right? Total release of repentant terrorists, 4,072. 1,935 de-radicalized and released into society in Borno between only Borno 2016 to 2022. 1,543 graduated from Malam CD camp in Gombe State, and this data was gotten from IOM, Nigeria Displacement Report, and Defense Ministry. Quite an interesting read. You might want to check pages 4 and 5 of The Guardian for that. Moving on, furore over Tinubu's 30 billion naira to governance. Senate reps pass Southeast Development Commission bill 3 months after. Military yet to release panel report on error drone. Remember that sad situation in Kaduna State. And PDP factions produce EVELYN for Edo poll. Hardship. Sanwo-Olu announces 25% slash in fares, other palliatives. Take steps to avoid planned protest. Afenifere tells Tinubu, Labour, others. And fresh worries for Naira as FAC shares 1.149 trillion naira to federal government, state, and local government areas. Aladeji, many interesting stories here. But talking about cushioning the effect of the petroleum subsidy, the consequences, the pains, the Lagos State governor had a press, hangout yesterday, and he announced 25% slash in fares, transport fares in Lagos State, and of course some food banks, and even they are going to partner with some, in his words, mama puts in different local governments that it will be feeding 1,000 or close to 1,000, 1,500 people daily, among other palliatives. Yeah, is Jide Sanwo-Olu doing the right thing? Setting the pace.
On the field, 1,000 people per local government.
Between 1,000 and 1,500.
In per local government. Yeah.
Among other things.
Among many other things. What is not listed, I can't say.
He called the number of days of work for civil servants to 3 days
5 days, 3 days.
Okay,
3 days,
and I also had free delivery for women now in the hospitals now.
Pregnant women.
Well, for some of these palliatives, they are good ones, but feeding 1,000 people, I'm looking at Alimosho local government, that's the biggest in Lagos. Yeah. You literally cannot feed 1,000 people there and tell me you've done anything. That is the reality. That's like, it's not up to 1% of the population of that local government. And I can tell you for free, in this Agumbelewu today, if you tell them there is a food bank here, and you want only 1,000 people to come around, you better go and bring the DSS and soldiers, because you have more than maybe 20,000 people come around. That is the reality on ground. People are hungry. It is not 1,000 people that you will feed that will take the hunger off the land. Now, yes, good one, make the health facility, at least for now, it is not good to add sickness to whatever is happening in Nigeria, but at least he has taken one delivery, at least when the new babies are coming, let them have safe landing, you get. But also, what about the elderly ones that fall sick? The reality is the cost of medications now are on the high. We need to look that route too. See, if the government want to say we want to bring out palliative, you need to be holistic in it. Don't start looking at, okay, let's see, we handle this, we are not handling this. Yes, okay, so the civil servants, you want them to reduce the rate at which they come to work. Then who takes care of the vulcanizer, who takes care of the carpenter, who takes care of the bricklayer? We also need to, because it is not only the civil servant, and I can say for free that Lagos State is not like Osun, that is a civil servant-driven economy. Lagos State is a business-driven economy. So how do you manage the people that are not in the formal sector?
5% reduction in transport fare.
Well, to me,
part of it.
Part
for
of
everybody,
it.
I mean,
that's for everybody.
Lagos State have done that before, 50%, and in 2 or 3 months they said they are cutting it off. Well, let's see where that leads them to.
Woman want to say, that maybe the government can always do more. They should always do more.
Of course,
but
yes.
Shouldn't Jide Sanwo-Olu be given kudos for this among his peers? We have many state governors that are doing next to nothing.
Well, Femi, okay, so now I think
I'm not saying you should be praised.
No.
But this is coming out with something.
Femi.
We have a state very close to you that's doing literally nothing.
Femi, I think now I partially would wear the cap of a comrade that EVELYN used to call me. No, I'm wearing it for the meantime, for the 1 minute.
All right.
I'm not impressed because this is just like a drop in the ocean. It is not what would take the sovereign away from the table of Nigerians. People are suffering. It's like, okay, someone is suffering 100% and you are cushioning it with a 10% palliative. It won't go anywhere. It doesn't take away the fact that People are suffering. Yes, okay, Julius Olu has taken the initiative, but if you look at what Lagos State boasts of in terms of IGR, more, right? In terms of whatever they do, they should be able to do more.
All right, that will be all from the front page of The Guardian.
All right, from The Guardian, we move on to The Nation newspaper this morning. On The Nation newspaper, military warns coup advocates. Ighodalo, or Igboho rather, back after 3 years self-exile. That's on page 5. And President knocks permanent secretaries for slowing down governance. Tinubu demands monthly key performance indicators. No to unacceptable delays. And you can see the quote from Mr. President there saying that let us make our children's dreams come true. Why are we slowing that down? It is not just shameful, it is unacceptable. We made a pledge rather to bring our people out of poverty. You should not increase their vulnerability. Do not compound the tough situation with unacceptable delays. That's from President Bola Tinubu. Away from that, Akeredolu takes final bow in Owo today. Lagos Ogun Customs unveil food, other palliatives. You can see that on page 6. And in red, bottom strip, police begin joint patrol on Lagos-Ibadan Road. And Makinde attacks Akpabio. That's on page 3. Ighodalo wins Edo PDP ticket. Shaibu at parallel Congress. Cooking gas export may end to quote price. Priority shifts to domestic use. Fax monthly cash hits 2.07 trillion naira. 1.15 trillion naira shared and 919 billion naira saved. Let's me take latitude on these. I'm sure you must have seen that video where the Senate President said governors were given, but he mentioned it in that video that it's an unconfirmed report that he heard that governors were given 30 billion naira, to cushion the effect of hardship in their states. And we have seen Governor Makinde for your state come out to debunk that particular news, saying the federal government didn't give any state government 30 billion naira. How would you react to that? I
think we should first charge our Senate President for fake news, for carrying fake news.
He said that it's an unconfirmed report.
How is he now even trying to bring out an unconfirmed report? Yeah. As a Senate President, you are the number 3rd citizen in Nigeria. So you don't confirm a report and you are sending it to a video. Yeah. People will take it hook, line, and sinker. So if we want to arrest people for fake news, I think he should also be on the list. So, but that's by the way. I know Osun State government also yesterday debunked that rumor. Yeah. Makinde is the governor of Oyo State and the deputy chairman of Nigerian Governors Forum. So he has the information.
And many states as well as denied it.
The government, the federal government needs to be careful. You cannot revive the economy through propaganda. If you are not doing the right thing, you are not doing it. Of course, we need to also have information when the state government gets money. They need to do the needful. But saying you have released 30 billion naira to them and they are literally doing nothing, it's like the state government the federal government wants to just shift the blame on the state. But thank stars for the state governors. I think they are smart now. Everybody is trying to, no, it's not my fault.
Do you call it being smart? Because you cannot you cannot say you gave me 30 billion naira and people are looking up to me asking for me to account for that 30 billion naira.
Okay, so initially when government said they released so bags of rice, virtually everybody in the country was asking their state government, no, the federal government said they've released 80,000 bags of rice to you, and in the reality, not until the state government started, bringing out committee that you realize even the first tranche of money they said they released, the 8 billion or thereabout that they said they were going to release, they first released 2 billion. So you don't give the impression that we've released all this money to the state government and people start looking at the government. That's why I said the governors also are trying to be smart. You cannot put, so it is your bad policy up there that is not making the naira to work. Right. So don't put the blame on me that you've released 30 billion. 30 billion naira is a huge money.
Okay. What do you say to people calling out state governors to also do better? I mean, we just spoke about Lagos State Governor, what he's doing in Lagos State, but it seems these governors, they lack ingenuity. They do not really know what to do at the grassroots level. And we know that they are closer to the people than the center.
Well, it's a shame that...
Knowing fully well that the allocation has massively increased.
Yeah, of course, yes. It's a shame that our state governments, you know, I've said it often and often that they are not, most of them lack initiative. They go to Abuja to just get their allocation. They don't know how to spend it, and in most cases they spend it on frivolities. And because many of them they have also crippled the local government. Yeah. The local government should be the closest to the people. Yeah. You sit in the state capital, maybe Ibadan, Osogbo, or Umuahia, and you tell the person in Isialangua, this is what you need. No, you don't know. They should have a local government chairman that lives with them, that knows what they do. So many of this money, they just give a traction of it to the people they appoint there as caretaker chairman, and, you know, doing virtually nothing. In Osun State here, they said they released some buses that on the way have brake failures, you know, a lot of things that are very, very unnecessary. And you look at the percentage of what they said they are releasing to the people, to the amount, how the allocation has increased. Then you ask the question. I most times ask my questions, our leaders in Nigeria, do they have a conference where they choose to say, let us just be wicked to these people? All right.
Okay, that will be a very good place to end the conversation with Ladeji Alabi. Thank you so much for coming.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
Of course. Femi.
Right, and I think, you know, before we take this break, we must just say it as it is. You know, well, Ladeji was speaking the other time about the Senate President on the floor of the plenary, talking about unverified reports. At the floor of the hallowed chamber of the National Assembly, somebody of the status of the National, is the chairman of the National Assembly, say, you know, let me just say what he said. I must say that unverified report has it. How can the number 3 citizen in Nigeria be talking about
rumors?
Unverified report. He didn't say it as a party. He said it at the floor of the House.
Exactly.
I think it's quite irresponsible. They're just trying to throw the state governors under the bus, or to distract the people from the inefficiency of the federal government. But we'll stay on this matter. We'll go on this break. When we'll come back, speak to Asia. Stay with us. All right, the conversation will start right now, and just like we've been saying all week, and just like you know as well, the current situation in the country, and that was what we are speaking to, especially what the handlers of the government are saying at this time. Is it enough? You know, pains here and there, hunger, palliatives from different governments. We just read what the state governor of Lagos, that's Jide Sanwo-Olu, said he was going to do, you know, just to ameliorate people's pain, 25% on transport. That should be public transport, because I'm not sure it will affect private transport owners or operators. By the way, you know, having free delivery for pregnant women in Lagos State, food banks here and there, and these are the issues. So many state governments too, rolling out one thing or the other. Many of them, by the way, have been quite redundant or quite insensitive to the plight of the people, just explanations here and there, or something. They are not having something concrete to show that they care for their people beyond the normal rhetoric. But the federal government has said, we will, you know, get over this. Just give us time. The CBN governor has been talking. The Minister of Finance, who is the coordinator of the nation's economy, has been speaking. The National Economic Council met yesterday, and all of them are still asking for more time. Give us more time. We're working day and night to make sure that things get better. You know, the CBN governor, Olayemi Cardoso, let me read what he said as I will bring my guest afterwards, saying the economic hardship that is going on, people should be patient. We are working day and night. And that's the person in charge of the financial fiscal direction for the country. And that is what he said. Be patient. The management of the Apex Bank is doing everything possible to ensure that Naira is strengthened. He said this at the 2024 public lecture titled Recent Developments in the Nigerian Foreign Exchange Market, Issues, Options, and Way Forward, organized by the Nigerian Economic Society at the CBN Center of Excellence, UI, yesterday at University of Ibadan. And somebody spoke on his behalf, and these are part of what he said. Is there excess demand for Forex in Nigeria is a legendary problem? By the way, you recall a few days ago that Yemi Cardoso, when he was addressing the National Assembly, when he was invited to come and explain what is going on, he said the pressure on the foreign exchange due to two reasons: people who are seeking medical tourism, by the way, and students who, jackpying to go and study abroad. They are the one putting pressure on this, although many persons found out that to say, why must you guys always find an excuse? Is it really the issues? We speak to this and more. We are being joined in the studio right now by public affairs analyst. Of course, he's educationist himself, wearing many caps. But we stayed with the analysis part of him today, Dr. Oluyemi Omotoshe Jr. Doctor, thank you for joining.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, it's been quite a while.
Yeah, thank you very much. The country is not, so people are managing how they move.
Including you?
Yes,
okay.
Everybody.
Interesting one. All right, so let's get to the matter. Yeah. Yemi Cardoso has been speaking, and he spoke again at an event where he was represented at the Premier University in Ibadan yesterday to say, give us more time. There is pressure on the Naira. And let's take it from this Naira to dollar exchange, Naira to foreign exchange, which keeps becoming, I think the only kind of people that will be smiling to this right now is people staying abroad. Possibly if they send money over home, the money will be, quite appreciative, and these are the issues. CBN has been saying, we are working day and night. Give us more time. There is pressure. That's why we are trying to tell the banks, sell off your excess dollars. We are, going to bureau de change, arresting some of them that are not properly registered. We are doing everything possible. Do you believe that narrative?
I don't. But before we go into that narrative, let me give an explanation of where we are coming from.
Okay.
We are moving from a calamity to a disaster. We had a government from PMB, Buhari, for 8 years that was practically lethargic. And all they were doing was stealing and corruption. Not only that.
These are strong allegations.
Yes, and I can defend it.
Okay.
And then not only that, this idea of the monetary and fiscal policy started having problem from Buhari, serious problem. And what happened? They were engaged in currency round tripping and crude oil round tripping. And that is what this government continues with. I've not finished. This government, when the government was winding up, the person who took over from him told us that he will continue where he stopped. And he has continued. He told us that he's going to reduce the purchase. I'm talking of this present government now. That he's going to reduce the purchasing power of the people. He has done that. He said he will widen the tax net and increase tax. He's doing that. And so, why are Nigerians complaining? I wouldn't see, I know the pressure is much. People are shouting because they are not looking at where we are coming from. We are coming from a calamitous end, moving to a disaster. Buhari damaged this economy totally before he left. And when you expect...
They say it's not Buhari, they say it's Emefiele.
I'm coming. It is... No. The box was on the president's table. And then the Emefiele reports to the National Assembly, the board of the CBN, and the president. The damage done by the last government before now was too much. And this president was confronted with that question by your group, the press, that what will you do? He said, no, he knows what is going to take over and that he's going to handle it. His capacity cannot handle it. His mental intelligence cannot handle it. His physical ability cannot handle it.
So you are challenging the capacity of the president.
Yes. The kind of people he has surrounded himself with cannot handle it. Now, what are they doing? They continue with what they were doing. Round tripping, currency round tripping, and crude oil round tripping. That is what is pressurizing the Naira. And I explained. I was in the villa before. I knew how the Minister of Finance and the CBN governor works together. If you don't know, you will know that of Shanusi and Okonjo-Iweala. They are always working together because the fiscal policy of the country, is the responsibility of the finance minister, and the monetary policy is that of the CBN governor, and they have to work together with the national planning minister and the president. But do you see them working together here? What they do here now is people get the currency, they got the dollars from the CBN, people in the high places who are surrounded by the president, and then they take it at official rate. Let's say you take 10 million today at official rate, and then you go to the black market to sell 10 million naira, with a difference of about 500 to 550 naira per dollar. You make about 2-point-something billion naira for contributing nothing to this economy. And yet some people are expecting the economy to beef up. These people are not talking of productivity. They are not talking of how to empower the farmers, how to empower the artisans, how to jig up the economy. No, they are not talking of GDP. They are busy round tripping with the currency and the crude oil. They swap the crude oil, they take it abroad, they get the PMS here. After getting the PMS, the excess dollar they get, they use it on round tripping. It is round tripping that using the borrow the change that is pressurizing the currency.
Are you talking of under Emefiele, under Buhari?
Under both. That's why I started from Buhari. Under both Buhari.
Sorry, doctor, because that is what the handlers of the government now said. That was what happened under Emefiele, and they are putting a stop to that.
That's why I said that was why I said this president said he will continue what where the last president stopped, and he continued. They are doing the same thing. They are doing round tripping.
Are you sure that's what is going on?
That is exactly what is going on.
Because they have come out several times to say that was under Buhari.
That is what is pressure, right? They have not stopped it. That is what is pressure. Okay, who is determining the rate of the currency now? Binance, and they borrow the change. And what do? They fix an artificial price, they advertise it, people buy it, and when they buy it, the CBN governor will be incapacitated, to block the gap. And so it will be forced to agree with the rate that is coming from Binance and the borrow the change in collaboration with the parallel market.
Doctor,
that was why
blaming of Binance and some of these cryptocurrencies being responsible for these. They are saying it's just a convenient excuse. We are just trying to pass the buck to them that things are happening or happened rather. And I'm saying this for you to just get a grasp so that you explain further to say things were bad things were bad under Emefiele rather, but Emefiele answered to Buhari. In fact, there was a time he was invited by the National Assembly several times. He didn't go there because many persons believed he was so powerful that the only person he deferred to was the president at that time. That's Buhari. And things have really gone down south at this time. And maybe that's why the handlers of the government now are saying things were bad under Buhari. That is why we are here. So, with your explanation, which you have agreed to now, do you agree with what the Tinubu handlers, administration's handlers are saying, that Emefiele and Buhari are the reasons why we are here?
I've told you.
Or it's just an excuse?
No, it's not an excuse. Buhari destroyed this economy practically. You can quote me. Apart from that, both financially, in terms of productivity, in terms of capacity and everything, the president was lethargic. He will not even say a word. I give you an example. We've had rumors in social media of one of his aides who bought 3 chips in a day. Not because of 1 chip. They are doing round tripping. That is what they were doing. This government said they will continue from where it stopped, and they continue.
I think the president talked about the administration of Buhari, not about round tripping.
I tell you today, they continue with what they were doing. That's why the naira is nosediving every moment. Now tell me, how can we have a country where we have all the resources and our naira is this bastardized? Now, all these resources, how do you get out from where Buhari and Emefiele was coming from? The way to get out is very simple. 1, you empower the farmers. And how do you empower the farmers? You subsidize fertilizer, you subsidize seedlings. And then farmers will go back to the farm. You subsidize energy. Manufacturers will go back to their work. And then more than 70% of the Okada people you see daily will go back to their to their skilled work, and they will be doing it. The GDP of the economy will be boosted, and then our currency will find its way. The only thing that can boost the credibility of the currency is high productivity. It is not these artificial things they are doing every day, and somebody will wake up and say, we have floated the naira. You are floating a naira without a strong productive base. You would have to get a strong productive base where you produce a lot of things you can export before you can float your currency, because you leave the currency now at the mercy of the forces of supply and demand. Meanwhile, your supply is very weak. So how do you get it? So the pressure on the naira is high every day. And with those who are doing round tripping, quote me, they should not hold this station, they should come and arrest me. With people who are doing round tripping daily with the currency, that is their trade. They are making billions daily.
What you are saying, doctor, is round tripping is still going on.
It's still going on, and it didn't even stop there. They are equally doing crude oil, round tripping. Right. They are swapping the crude with some people. And then these are the things that are pressurizing the naira. Ask me, where are they getting the currencies they are changing every minute? It's what they are changing every minute, and that's what is pressurizing the naira. No, this government has stopped talking about productivity. If they want to talk about productivity, particularly food productivity, they will talk about insecurity. How do you stop insecurity? I'm talking about that. Stop insecurity so that farmers can go back to their farm. Right. Farmers are in town. They are not working. And then the government is looking. And this government, this president, is not even talking about that. They will just be telling us, we need to sacrifice. No, we have been sacrificing now. We are now becoming the sacrificial lamb. Now, meanwhile, they are living in affluence. This same president that said Nigerians to sacrifice was the president who approved 160 million naira per house of for one parliamentarian. This same president has just approved 24 billion for those going on Hajj or Christian pilgrimage. Where is the money?
Subsidy.
And then you say we should tighten our belt while you are loosening your own.
Okay. So in a nutshell, Doctor, you're saying this government is not sincere with the people?
Yes, this government is not sincere with the people. This government is wicked. They are not doing governance. They are doing wickedness. How can the president sit down in his office and see the level of hunger in town and keep quiet? Look, people are dying every day. I'm angry. People are dying. People are slumping. People can't move. They can't pay school fees. As I'm talking to you now, I can't pay my children's fees in Canada. How much will I exchange? It is my son that is helping me to pay because he's there. How do you manage? People have children abroad. Is it their fault to send their children abroad? And then the naira is collapsing every minute.
That's what Cardoso said. That,
yes.
You know, apologies to say people like you who have your children abroad are the ones putting pressure.
Ask Cardoso whether it's cool here.
On the naira.
Ask most of them who are working there whether their children are here.
At the National Assembly.
It is our right to send our children to anywhere we like in the world for education. Education is our right. Why should it be because you are not managing your economy very well, then I can't send my children abroad?
The explanation you gave at the National Assembly.
It's an unintelligent explanation. And it shows how ingenious they are. They sit down in that place. They don't bother about the economy. This economy is the simplest to fix if people are sincere. One, the government has to block all the leakages. They are not blocking leakages, rather they are increasing cost of governance every day. They are increasing cost of governance every day. Block the leakages. The president is traveling everywhere. They are talking of medical tourism. Who is doing it? It's government officials. Do you have money to go abroad now and go and do what to treat headache?
Doctor, let me take us back a bit. We spoke about the former CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele. How convenient is it for this present administration to heap almost all the blame on the former CBN governor? Because some people in some quarters have said if it were to be an opposition party that this present administration took power from, it will be the blame will be on the president. But at this moment, Mr. Buhari is being exonerated, and the whole blame is put on CBN Governor Emefiele. In fact, we heard the Senate President the other day saying the man he shattered the economy. We don't even know what charges to bring against him. And of course, Mr. Emefiele has also reacted to that, suing him for defamation of character.
Thank you. Let me ask you, is it not the same group, APC, who installed Buhari? Was Tinubu? The person who installed Buhari, 98%, was President Tinubu.
But would you say President Tinubu actually accepted or agreed to the policies of Buhari at the time?
He installed him. He was the national leader of the party.
But he was not in government.
I'm coming. He was with him for 8 years. What is governance? Governance, you can't run governance without political parties. He was in charge. He installed him. He told us this is the best man in the world.
But at the time, at the time it appeared, the signs were there that Asiwaju Tinubu was sidelined.
That's when they started disagreeing on round tripping. Currency round tripping.
That's
because because of election. That was towards the tail end. Before the tail end, what happened? He was monitoring the government. He was part of it. This government, you know, was bastardizing the economy. They were all looking. He campaigned for him again. He won. He spent 8 years. After that, he took over. They disagreed because he observed the body language of the president may not favor him. And they disagreed. They have settled since. And then he told us during the campaign, he will start where the president stopped. And he has started where he stopped. Look, even what Buhari couldn't do, he has done it. Buhari said they should remove subsidy. Buhari himself was conscious. In 2016, Buhari, petrol was 165 naira. When Buhari observed that, you know, the landing cost has increased and the price will be about 212 naira, he quietly started paying subsidy. That was why when he was going, he said, remove subsidy by June. And then he left May, thinking that those who are coming will do a proper planning before they tamper with something that has a multiplier effect on everything in the country. They didn't. Rather, you just came, read a speech that was written for you, and then what was not in that speech, you added it. Subsidy is gone. Since that time, this government has been moving from pillar to post.
What is the subsidy? Is corruption.
Yes, who is causing the corruption? It is government officials. What have they done now? They have removed the corruption from the independent marketers and government officials and placed the corruption in the hand of politicians. Now, the consequence of the subsidy removal now is the additional money we are getting. Who are they giving the money? They are giving it to these governors. Yeah. You know how much they have given them the last 3 months. They've been giving them huge amount of money. Maybe 1 or 2 of them are performing. The rest are not talking.
Should we still blame the federal government for that?
Yeah, but in the sharing...
Shouldn't we be holding each governor's
We should hold both the federal government... We should hold both the federal government and the state government responsible. As the state government are receiving their own share of the federation account, the federal government has 48% of it. 52 goes to the states, local government and state. So what is the federal government doing with its own? What are the state government doing with their own? Yeah. They are collaborating to shield the people. In fact, the way I'm seeing this government is as if the masses, the citizens, you know, offended them and they are punishing us. Because the hardship is just, suffering is just too much.
They've come out severally to say, in fact, the president said, I wish there was any better way. I could have taken that. But this is the only way.
There are better
Trust
ways.
me, I am working.
There are better ways.
He even said, I asked for the job. Don't pity me. I'm going to deliver.
There are better ways. He's not consulting properly.
That's what he said.
He unilaterally removed the subsidy without cabinet. He unilaterally floated the naira without any cabinet. It was a unilateral decision. I am sure if he had surrounded himself with some members of his cabinet that time or waited a bit, he would have got better advice. We wouldn't have been in this problem. The problem now is the economy has damaged, you know, beyond reputation that he doesn't even know what to do. And let me tell you, most of the people who are working with him are not even doing anything. I'm telling you, they are coming from the background of Buhari, who are people busy with round tripping and crude oil round tripping.
But he has some of...
That is what this government is doing.
He has some of the think tank that he has worked with before.
Look, the doing you are seeing today is not the doing of 30 years ago.
What has happened?
The Baba is weak. The running of economy these days, let me tell you, demands energy and mental capacity. That Baba is not like the way he was before. The Tinubu himself, was it the way he was governor now? Does he remember everything? He says something, he forgets it. This is the Buhari, the Tinubu that told us that he's going to reduce the purchasing power of the people. Should that come from the presidential candidate? Not that he's doing it. We believe he was not a jester, that he meant it. Is that what you expect from him when he was governor? When he was governor, he was active. You know, before, if something happened in Lagos, before 6 a.m. he's there. Before 4 p.m. he's there.
But you can't do that now. Lagos is different from Nigeria, doctor.
But he's not active.
36 states and the FCT.
I'm trying to explain that he is not active.
He's almost as lethargic.
Thank you.
He's almost as lethargic as the president.
How do you mean active? He has been talking.
And a very active president will be in charge. Obasanjo was in charge. And then when you see Obasanjo, he reads all his memo, he takes action, and he follows those actions. What is he following up? It's only when we talk and shout and shout and shout, he will not come and talk. For the past 3 or 5 days, he has not been in Nigeria. Me in France, you left us in all these problems, you caused for us, and then you go and
no, he has been back from France. I think he went to Ethiopia.
He came yesterday.
For a meeting.
For what?
And
Can you leave your own house leaking, and then you are hobnobbing in another man's country? Look, there is a big problem in Nigeria today. You know, organizations are closing down. Foreign investments is not coming. The Few people who are working are complaining bitterly. I don't know how you are coping. They take life incessantly. The energy is not working. Nothing is working. And then you go and stay in another country and say you are working. And so people who are saying that it's just 9 months. Let us give him time. Look, the Yoruba will say, the eye that will serve you till your old age does not produce moko in the morning.
Dr. Olaim.
It doesn't.
You know, quite an interesting one, by the way. Before my colleague come in, many persons will say, yes, maybe the subsidy removal wasn't well thought about or wasn't really prepared for. But there are some facts, Doctor, and I'll say it one after the other, that in 2023 budget, the subsidy proposal or the budgeting for the subsidy was only to last till June. That was the preparation that was made to it. And many persons, and you know, Buhari said it, the administration said it a couple of times. In fact, they even it was supposed to have happened at the end of 2022. They postponed it, and many persons believed they dodged the bullet. They didn't want, they knew there would be reaction, so they'd rather leave it for the incoming generation. Many persons believed, I mean, the incoming administration, many persons believed Buhari should have done it. He could have done it, but he didn't want it because there are so many issues with him. He didn't want it to end on a low. So he dodged that bullet and waited for Tinubu to do it because, and you agree that many presidential candidates at that time agreed that subsidy must go. So now that Shiwaju has taken it, people say he should be given the kudos for taking the difficult decision.
We can't give him kudos for taking
even if the consequences are bad.
For taking a right decision at, you know, with too many bad methodologies. One, he didn't plan for it.
It was the right decision.
Yeah, the decision would have been right because they've made us to, I don't believe in it, they've made us to believe that the subsidy was full of corruption. And they wanted to stop the corruption. So we are waiting to see how they will stop the corruption.
And he did.
And then, now have they stopped the corruption? The corruption is increasing at a geometric rate now. And let me tell you what is pushing us. What is pushing us are the Bretton Woods institutions. Who are these Bretton Woods institutions? These are the World Bank and the IMF. If Buhari say remove subsidy, you have the right to say, hold on, I just take over. Let me consult with my people. And in the course of consulting with your people, more ideas will come out and we will support you to tell you, to guide you on how to remove the subsidy, that it will not bring much pain to the people. You can present a supplementary budget, for God's sake. You know, even if Buhari didn't budget for it, you cannot budget for it for the next 6 months, 7 months, and see what is going to happen while you are still planning. Meanwhile, the Bretton Woods institutions are the people pushing him to do what he's doing. And let me tell you, as somebody who worked in the presidency before, when they have had series of meetings, you know, with the Bretton Woods institution, when the Weala, Sanusi, and Obasanjo was there, all they needed is their interest. And when they are pursuing their interest, we must know that it is against your own interest. This economy can survive without those people. Do we need all the loans? So go and take a loan, remove subsidy from petrol, remove subsidy from energy, remove subsidy from food. Meanwhile, in Europe and America, there is subsidy on petrol, there is subsidy on food, there is subsidy on agriculture, there is subsidy on energy. If you don't subsidize energy, our manufacturing companies cannot survive. Yet they are telling you, remove subsidy from energy. You know how much we are paying for energy today? And when you remove the subsidy again, the price will go, you know, high and high. And so they start closing industries. So you can't be listening to the Bretton Woods institution and expect your economy to thrive. Shifolufalai, under Babangida, they brought the SAP. You remember, it was a colossal failure at the end of the day. Why? Because their policies does not match with us, and the principle of their policy is simple, is that go and remove this subsidy, remove that subsidy, go and underpay your people. The salary you are paying is too much, remove subsidy. Are we going to die? Is it what they are paying in Europe, we are paying here? Now, all those in Weala and the rest of them who are saying remove subsidy, they were all trained by the Western people. And when they were being trained, education was free for them. They don't even want us to breathe. And the president is dancing to their tune. Let me tell you, the Buhari we are talking about that caused all this problem. The Buhari didn't agree with the Bretton Woods institutions. He said no. It's not going to abide. That's why.
But it took several loans.
That was why he didn't remove the subsidy.
But it took loans from this same IMF.
Yes, taking loan is another element.
Even
they
from China.
The reason why they are taking loan is because of their personal gain. You can't see what they are doing with the loan. Now, this one came. This one is dancing to the tune of the Bretton Woods institution. And I tell you in this studio today, there is no government that dances to the tune of the Bretton Woods institution that survive. I can give you examples of Niger Republic, of Angola, of Argentina, of Brazil, and so many other countries like that who are taking their loan, and you run to trouble, and they must collect your loan. Right. As I talk to you today now, we service loan with about 85% of our revenue. Is that good for development? And who gave all this money? It is Obasanjo. It was Obasanjo, when we were there, that he solved all these problems, paid the Paris Club debt, you know, by swapping. We paid 12 billion, they took 18 billion, and then the loan was up. But unfortunately, I'm unhappy that Obasanjo, that is still alive today, to be witnessing what I want to say now, that the loan he wrote off has now skyrocketed beyond normal. Right. It is quite unfortunate. Why are they taking loan? When government take loan, they share the money. We don't see what they do with it. They just spend 10% and put the remaining 90% in their pocket.
All right, Doctor. So what you're saying now is the advisories from the IMF, from the World Bank, are not in the interest of Nigerians. So the federal government should ditch it. They shouldn't follow. The
federal government should use the internal mechanism we have in Nigeria to develop this economy. Now, most of our citizens who you are claiming they are experts who are going abroad. They are the people they are using. EVELYN was working in the World Bank before. Desiani worked there. Dr. The Igbo woman that was doing Jobi, work with them.
But that's not a crime.
What I'm saying is that they are using our people to develop those institutions. So we have experts and professionals here who can develop ideas and policies that can move our economy forward. We don't need the advice of people in that place. Most Nigerians are more qualified than them. In fact, let me tell you, I went to do a PhD because of the kind of character of people I see in their meetings. Anytime I went with their meeting between year 1999 and 2003. And what I observed was that, you know, they're just young people who are not, some of them are well educated, some of them are not. So if you are well educated, you can challenge them on their policies. And when they observe that you put them to the corner, they will say, but you are owing us. Why can't you do these policies in your own country? My PhD was on debt management. It was because of this Bretton Woods institution. And I tell you today, we have experts in Nigeria who can manage this economy properly. The problem we have are leakages. And the leakages is because we've not got a president that is determined to stop leakages. If president is determined to stop leakages, you know, and then, you know, reduce corruption to the barest minimum, stop currency round tripping, stop crude oil round tripping, Nigeria will develop and there will be surplus for us to manage.
All right, Doctor, don't you think you should cut the president some slack? I mean, when you were explaining the other time, you mentioned the fact that he actually inherited a disaster as you know, as an economy, a calamitous economy. Don't you think we should cut him some slack? I mean, we've had different analogy. The other day it was Uzodimma that was saying it's like a tailor, a designer trying to put together a dress. When he's cutting it into pieces, it doesn't make sense. You know, saying that the president at this time is trying to cut the pieces, then join together, we should give him time. And also the chief of staff also mentioned the fact that what we are experiencing in Nigeria is not really only in the country, it's not only exclusive to Nigerians alone, it's the world over. And it's like the foundation has been destroyed and they are just trying to, you know, put things in place. So if Buhari, like you mentioned earlier, the government of Buhari for 8 years has destroyed the economy, and this present administration is trying to put things in place, he's not a magician, some people would say, so you should give him time.
He was part and parcel of the calamity from the previous government. He was
not in government,
I am coming. He was the national leader. He installed that man.
Of the party.
Of the party.
Not of the government.
I'm coming. He was part of the engineering group that put us into this place. And he told us himself, he knew what he's going to face, which means he knew what was happening in the economy. And then he now come, instead of correcting the problem, in fact, it's causing more problem now. Do you know why? I said cost of governance is increasing. The cost of governance during Buhari was not as expensive as this.
Don't you think this is in tandem with the reality we have on ground?
What is the reality?
The cost of living also is not...
The reality we have on ground is that cost of governance should reduce so that we know that you are sacrificing for the citizens to sacrifice properly. That is one. Two, government must take decisions on how to boost productivity. And the resources are here, for God's sake. Agricultural land is here. People are ready to go to the farm if you encourage them. Look, during Awolowo, what did Awolowo do? Awolowo did a very simple thing. If you cultivate 20 acres of land, and then maybe you planted corn and cassava, by the time you harvest, you call their produce. They will come and buy it. The ones you can't sell, government will buy everything from you. That means next year, you are likely to cultivate ×2. That's what happened. And so Nigeria was, the mainstay of our economy was agriculture. Awolowo was able to pay, the best minimum wage in Nigeria, build the cocoa house, become the first television station in Africa from agriculture. These people are not encouraging agriculture. They are not encouraging talents in Nigeria. The environment is not conducive for business. Nigerian youths are very determined, they are creative, they are resourceful, and they are brilliant. They can work in this economy and increase our GDP, but the environment is not conducive. You go to the farm, herdsmen will send you away. Insecurity will not allow you to move. When you establish a company that is using energy, energy will destroy the company because there is no energy, and you have to go and buy your own energy. In my house now, where I live, I am a local government. I was the person who provided the road. I was the person who is providing water. I'm the person who is providing electricity. I'm the person who is providing security, including the community. So where is the effort of the government? Government has to create a conducive environment for our youth to thrive. Instead of allowing them to jump out to abroad, they can work here. So you have many youth here who are very creative, but this environment, honestly, is just not conducive. And so this man is increasing cost of governance, and then the kind of corruption we are seeing now, it is in a geometric progression. It's even worse than that of the Buhari we are talking about.
We have been talking about corruption.
Look, let me give you an example. Look at the National Assembly.
Yeah.
Look at the National Assembly. Who is questioning them now? Look at them. Yes, the other time they say we have paid a prayer in your account.
The president doesn't control the National Assembly.
No. Is that not, where are they getting the money?
But doctor, it doesn't.
It doesn't. But he gave them 160 million naira Prado. Is that not, what is that? Do we need that now? That's increasing cost of governance.
The National Assembly, did that themselves.
What I'm saying is they are collaborating with the executive.
It's part of their office.
They are collaborating with the executive to enjoy at the expense of the people of Nigeria. The situation we are now, according to the president, demands sacrifice. Are they sacrificing?
On their own part.
On their own part, are they sacrificing? They are writing the best card. They are living as if nothing is happening. They are living as if everything is in order, when everything is not in order. People are dying every day. Yeah. Look at the zoo in OAU. They couldn't feed the lions. They couldn't. I'm sure that lion was angry. That was why he killed that guy. Now, people cannot feel like, in fact, they'll be telling you now that human being has not eaten. You are talking of lion. How much is going to universities? How much is going to our center of excellence? How much is going to our health sector? What is the federal government now doing with its own policies, with own share of the subsidy money? Now, I've told you now, you can encourage farmers how, provide fertilizer, subsidize their seedling, they will go back to farm. Again, buy their produce when it is ready, they will go back to farm. Subsidize energy. A country that does not subsidize energy does not encourage manufacturing. The manufacturing sector is dying. All right,
Doctor, let's talk about the reaction of the people to all that is happening. We've had pockets of protests in some parts of the country. We had in Osun here, we had in Ibadan, we had in Niger State and Kano State and some other states too. Do you think this is the way to go, protest? And of course, we have the organized labor that are scheduled the 27th and 28th of February for protest all across the country, although we are hearing that the TUC has backed out of that particular plan.
It is better for government to ensure through dialogue that we don't go on protest, no matter this situation, how bad this situation is. That's the first thing. The second thing is that people who are angry or hungry can be angry. That is why it is not a good idea to allow strike to go on. Let me give you an example. If you start a protest in OHIOLEI this morning, before you get to Okefia, the crowd will be times 100 because angry people will join them and they will destroy everything we have even made over the years. So government should do everything in their power to make sure the NLC, the organized labor, does not go on strike.
Do you think this is what the DSS is trying to prevent?
Yes, because it's not by force, it's by dialogue. And dialogue means, look, the exchange rate was 200 and something when it came. It is 1,000 plus now, about 19 or 13 or 14 now, and the same minimum wage, for God's sake. Can't survive. We cannot survive. I've told you here several times that I go to my place of work once a week now, because to go from my house to my place of work is 10 liters.
Talk about minimum wage. The
Yes.
president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Joe Ajaero, said at the time that they are planning to propose $1 million
That's bad
minimum
at
wage.
that. They have not discussed. They should discuss. The Naira, the central bank governor, the president, the managers of this economy, from the president to the rest. You know why we are shouting? All this. In fact, I want to thank your station for what you are doing. It is because Nigerians are talking. That is why this government is taking some decisions. They are not ready to do anything at all. They just want us to be suffering. We should continue to talk. So the idea of muting 1 million naira as minimum wage is unreasonable. It will bastardize the currency and bastardize the economy. They should work out a realistic,
Framework.
framework and minimum wage that can be good for the economy and be good for the citizens. Because while we are crying, we must be seeing. We cannot say because we are suffering now, destroy everything. I was in Zimbabwe sometime. When I wanted to buy milk, I went with a cellophane full of money. Cellophane paper full of money. And how much is the milk? I want to buy milk. The girl will count the money for more than 1 hour. Because they have bastardized their currency. We should not get to that level. The labor should be reasonable. And I think there are economists among them, there are administrators among them, there are public analysts among them. They will guide them properly. But I think they are just suggesting that as a basis of negotiation so that they can come to a reasonable figure. But what can you propose as minimum wage when the exchange rate has moved from 100, maybe 1,000, from 900 and something now to 1,900? I mean, it's damaging.
Yeah.
The only way we can get out of it is for government to design a plan that will increase productivity and boost up our GDP and strengthen our the currency.
Dr.
Because
Motosho, yeah.
when the GDP is strengthened and we have much export, then the currency will be strengthened.
Dr. Motosho, we have to go now. But before we do that, let's speak to the subnational, the state and what they are doing. It's obvious now that since this removal of the subsidy, the money being shared as the federal allocation has greatly improved and increased. And states have been having more money, even though they might not have been having the 30 billion as the Senate President talked about.
Rubbish.
Many of the state governors have said it's a lie. That never happened. And it was quite, quite a reckless statement from the Senate President.
It was.
To throw the state into trouble,
Yes.
you know, and they have denied it, by the way. But are the states really trying?
No, they are not.
Jide Sanwo-Olu talked yesterday, he spoke about some of the things that he would do, but there are so many states.
No.
In fact, as for Sanwo-Olu, many people believe it's a good thing, but that's too small for what they are generating in Lagos and what they are able to do. But some will say, you are blaming Sanwo-Olu about states that have just been there doing nothing. Are we holding the state governors accountable enough?
Thank you. If the
Because we can blame the president all we want.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, that they are all sharing the money.
Yeah.
The federal government is even receiving the highest share, and the states and local government are receiving about 52%, while federal government is taking 48%. If all of them are performing, what do we expect them to do? In this situation we find ourselves, it's very simple. Provide transport. How do you provide transport? Copy Zulum. Zulum has provided transport abundantly, even with the CNG. Provide transport, you know, make sure the price of transportation comes down. That will affect the prices of goods in the market because farmers come to town with transportation. That is one. Now, again, provide health. Make health for maybe age 1 to 10. Free in your hospital. The money they have given to you, provide medicine in those hospitals. That is second. 2, provide security from the same money so that farmers can go back to their farms. Our situation is very simple. It is just because we are dealing with people who are very wicked. Instead of doing governance, they are being wicked to us. That is not all. Again, look at all your institutions. There are things you can do there. But particularly the primary school, they are doing feeding, increase it, continue to do it. And then make sure you provide buses that can transport school children to their schools daily and back with a little amount of money. All these things need monitoring. Again, you can subsidize food now. And how can you subsidize food? I remember those days when we are in the university, they will bring milk to the gate. You go and buy a subsidized price, and then you are happy. Why can't government do that? If you say the sellers, the traders, the commercial people are increasing prices and they are holding it, buy your own. You have the money.
All right.
Put it out in specific centers and tell citizens to go and take them.
And that will even crash.
That will crash all their prices. Are you telling me they are not thinking? Are you telling me these things I'm saying are rocket science?
Right.
It is not. It is because of corruption and stealing that is making them to look as if they don't know what to do. Right. They know what to do. Go and see Sulu. Maiduguri, they were giving each person one bag of rice in my community, in this Oshun, and I'm very close to this government. You know what they did? You know, they gave us, they shared the rice in a ward, and then my own area, about 500 of us, 2 modules.
Doctor,
So they still brought,
you are light.
You got something.
they still brought the rice to my neighbor, and what did he take? He got half a tin of me. So is that reducing poverty?
Dr. Motasha, one will say you are an elite. You don't need these things.
I am not the peasant. I'm talking of those who needed it. What did they get?
You live in an elitist area. Maybe that's why.
No, it's not an elitist area. Even the poor people, the vulnerable people around my house, I've asked them times without number. Are you registered? You say they are registered. Okay. Have they given you something? No.
All right.
When I live here now, I'm going to share my transport to 2 to give one of them.
All right. Evelyn, we have to go.
Yes, we have to go, and it has been an exciting but also insightful conversation with Dr. Motasha. Thank you so much, sir, for coming, and also thank you for your analysis this morning.
Thank you very much for having me. As always.
Yeah.
Pleasure. Please continue with what you are doing. This is the only thing that is saving Nigeria. Please.
That's why we are here. And this is a very good place to end the conversation this morning on Morning Spring. Thank you so much for your time. Remember that you can catch a recap of this particular show on our YouTube channel at Western Spring Television. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Western Spring Television. We would also like to hear your comment on the topic of discuss for today. My name is EVELYN OHIOLEI. Ensure to stick around for Spring Trend.
All right, my name is FEMI. But my parting shot for today, there was this viral video that made its way to the social media space yesterday of a particular cleric threatening the wife of the president that she should be killed based on the fact that she's a pastor and, you know, she's an infidel.
Just not an infidel.
She's an infidel, and the ticket that brought the president was a Muslim ticket. How come the president is having an infidel? And that's quite extreme. You might not agree with people's opinion. You might not agree with the party. You might not even agree with the way the government is performing, but threatening another citizen with death.
Not just another citizen, threatening the first lady of the country.
I'm just saying, because all of us are Nigerians, nobody has the right to threaten you or me, or doctor, or the wife of the president. And I think this is the time that our intelligence community should do better and make examples of these people so that nobody will feel greater than another Nigerian. That's my party show. Femi Ojo's money. See you on Monday. Bye-bye.